Good morning, my name is Gabby Malley, it's 8:03. Carmel's competition dance team kicked off their season with first place wins for both JV and varsity at their first competition at Mundelein High School. Their next competition will be Sunday, where varsity will take the floor at Naperville North High School and junior varsity will represent Carmel at Evergreen Park High School. If you can't make the competition, save the date for the first ever Winter Showcase on Sunday, December 17th, right here at Carmel. Dancers will perform all their routines from the 2023 season in the Salvi Arena at 3 p.m. All proceeds collected will go to support their program.
This is the Carmel hockey team. Pop out to our game against the Ice Cats on December 2nd at 5 o'clock.
It's a fundraiser for the Super Jake Foundation, so be there.
Pop out! Yeah!
All right, now I'm back with Mr. Pleiss, and we're here to talk about Advent. So, Mr. Pleiss, when is Advent?
Advent is one of the 6 church seasons of the year. Advent begins this coming Saturday at sundown, and it will end on sundown on Christmas Eve, December 24. Advent is a time of preparation, but it's a preparation for 2 things. A preparation for, yes, the birth of Jesus, but also the second coming of Jesus. So the first 2 weeks of Advent focus, the readings both at Mass and in the office focus on the second coming of Jesus when he comes in glory. From December 17 forward, the readings in both Mass and office focus on the upcoming birth of Jesus. Advent begins a new church year, and so the first Sunday of Advent is the church's new year, and what that means practically is that we will move from cycle A in the gospel readings on Sunday to cycle B. Cycle A is Matthew, cycle B is Mark. So we'll begin hearing Mark in the Sunday readings once the Christmas season is over.
Sounds lovely. And I heard there are colors that correspond with the Sundays?
There are colors. The liturgical color for Advent is purple, reflecting the royalty of Christ. However, at the third Sunday of Advent, the color on the candle and maybe on the priest's vestment will go to pink. And that's just to signify that Christmas is just about here.
All right. That's all we have for right now. We'll be back soon.
Go ahead.
Hey Carmel, I'm Andrew Smigo, and welcome to this week's edition of my college football New Year's Six predictions, as well as my playoff predictions and conference title winners as well. The 2023 college football season is down to its final week of action before bowl games start. It is called Champ Week, where conference title winners are decided in a championship game between the top 2 teams in the conference. So here we go now with my predictions. For the Big 12 championship, I have Texas beating Oklahoma State and Dallas. I believe that Quinn Ewers is a top clutch quarterback who will win in tough situations, and I believe that Oklahoma State will struggle late, which will end up causing them to lose this game. For the ACC, I have Louisville beating Florida State and Charlotte. I believe that Louisville will be upset coming off of a home loss to their rivals Kentucky last week, and that Florida State will go down with no Jordan Travis, as it didn't look to be as strong a team against Florida last week. For the Pac-12, I have Oregon beating Washington in another rematch in Las Vegas. Oregon has out to prove themselves and prove that they are the better team after their loss to Washington earlier this year on a last-second missed field goal. I also believe that this game will also help promote Bo Nix to be the Heisman favorite for the Heisman ceremony next Saturday. For the Big Ten, I have Michigan beating Iowa. Iowa has a good defense, but won't be able to compete with Michigan's explosive run game offense with Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum. For the SEC Championship, I have Alabama finding a way and beating Georgia. Nick Saban is a genius of a college football coach who always finds a way to win, just like he did over Auburn in the Iron Bowl last weekend, and I believe that he will also do it again this weekend. Also, Alabama has never lost to Georgia in the SEC Championship. Now I will talk about my New Year's Six predictions plus my college football player predictions as well. For the Orange Bowl, I have the ACC champs Louisville, who finished with a record of 11-2, taking on the second best team in the Big Ten, Ohio State. For the Cotton Bowl, I have the ACC runner-ups Florida State, taking on the third best team in the SEC, record of 10-2, Missouri Tigers. For the Peach Bowl, I have the SEC runner-ups Georgia with a record of 12-1, taking on the Pac-12 runner-ups Washington with a record of 12-1. For the Fiesta Bowl, I have the best group of five team, the American Athletic Conference champs, will beat SMU this Saturday, taking on the Tulane Green Wave, taking on the third best Big Ten team, the Penn State Nittany Lions, with a record of 10-2. Then for the playoffs, I have the 1 seed Michigan taking on the 4 seed Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, and the 2 seed Oregon taking on the 3 seed Texas in the Rose Bowl. I then have the number 1 seed Michigan beating number 4 Alabama, as well as number 2 Oregon beating number 3 Texas. I then have the Oregon Ducks beating the Michigan Wolverines in the national championship and being the 2024 college football national champions. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you all later, Carmel.
Welcome back in for sports. We'll start today with the hockey team, who fell last night to Lake Forest but look to bounce back tomorrow at Glacier against Libertyville. The boys basketball team fell last night to Libertyville but will face Marion traveling down to Marion tonight. Varsity is set for tip-off at 7 o'clock. And the gymnastics team will have a varsity invitational tomorrow at Glenbard West. They'll start at 11 o'clock. And the dance teams will have invitationals on Sunday with varsity North and starting at 10 o'clock. And now we're going to send it over to Jericho Figueroa, who's sitting down with state musicians.
Good morning, Carmel. I'm Jericho Figueroa. I'm here today with Sarah Jenkins, Lexi Belyayev, and Talia Engstrom. So you three are making some history in Carmel Fine Arts program. So could you guys tell me a little bit about your recent achievements?
Yeah, so initially we did an audition and we're all selected for District 7 ILMEA, Illinois Music Educators Association. Me and Sarah were in the District 7 choir and Lexi was in the District 7 band.
That's incredible. So I'm sure it's no easy feat to be the best, some of the best in the district. So what's the process of getting selected into ILMEA?
Yeah, so for choir, we get audition materials in September, and then we review the songs that we're given, and then we record ourselves singing scales and triads, things like that, and then we also record ourselves singing a part of the songs, and then those get sent to the administrators and like a board at ILMEA, and then they score our performances and our tonality, and then based on those scores, it determines who gets selected for district choir, and then around Thanksgiving, they decide who gets selected for the all-state choirs.
And for band, we go through kind of the same process. We record videos, and then now the top musicians are selected for All-State, and now I have to go through a whole nother audition process to see if I'm in All-State or Honors in the band or orchestra.
Wow, that's a lot. So how much time did you spend in preparation for your auditions?
I know for me, like the scales, you have to practice that scale sheet almost every day. I've been practicing it so much since freshman year. And then the etudes, I usually start around like the beginning of summer, practice them all summer very like extensively, and then record in September.
Yeah, that's great. So what's the best advice you could give to someone who wants to excel in the fine arts program?
I would just say like practice, practice, practice. If you put the work in, the results will reflect that. So
Yeah, and I would say that you have to be prepared for the ups and downs of fine arts because it is such a rewarding program, but also you have to be prepared to put in work and long rehearsals.
I would say definitely prioritizing and like time management. Make sure you find the time to do the stuff that's important for like your next audition or your next performance.
Yeah, that's amazing. So good luck to you guys in your next performances. And CDN News, we'll be right back.
Typically, I like to have 6 to 8 weeks to build a set. In this case, Due to my late start in the school year, we actually built this set in just over 4 weeks. The set design, the original concept came from Mr. Moses, and we talked it over for a couple of weeks, and I would say it's probably about 6 hours on the computer to come up with the first layout of what we were going to use. But the overall design actually happens as a fluid process while we build the set and students give their ideas in and we develop it as we go. My favorite part of what we do here is to see the students learn and grow and their skill sets increase and their confidence increase. And with that, you see an increase in the complexity of the sets, the detail of the sets. They start to come up with different design ideas and actually design a good portion of what we actually end up building.
Finally this morning, Carmel Digital Network and Carmel as a whole would like to wish Mrs. T well as she lives Carmel. She has been an integral part of helping Carmel move towards becoming a more sustainable school, and her legacy will continue to inspire us to protect the environment. Thank you for all of your support. That's all we have for today. My name is Gabby Malley. Have a festive Friday, Carmel.